Hey. How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode. And on this one, we are going to talk about the inner child. Working with the inner child, recognizing when the inner child is acting up, when she needs to play, or when he needs to play. Just, getting back to our childhood. On Friday, I was watching the Christmas movie. I know it's past Christmas and I'm still watching it. So what? The Red One. And this is the movie, I believe it's called The Red One, on the movie with The Rock in it. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the movie, don't watch this video because I'm going to spoil it. But, anyways, so The Rock plays Santa's right hand man, right? And so on Christmas Eve, yes, Christmas Eve, he hands in his resignation because he was having a hard time with believing or seeing children within adults. Now, he didn't really say that. He was just saying believing. I believe that's how he said it. And he just, was struggling with being so close to the most important person of Christmas, so to say. So, um, and it had me thinking about my childhood and how I'm still very much connected to my inner child. Before I had the language for it, I would always say, like, I'm a child at heart. Like, I was the mom that would be on the playground with my kids in the sand. I was the mom that would be on the floor coloring with my kids. I love kids. I love their energy. I love their essence. I love to see how their little mind works. I adore kids. They get on my nerves too, but I adore them. I love to just see how their inner workings work, and I like to see like the spark of it. I do. I love kids. So my house was the house where kids would gather. Hey, I wanted it that way because I knew that they were safe, right? I didn't want my kids going over to whoever house down the street because I didn't know what was going on in the house. So my house was the spot, right? Kids would always come over. I had a boy and a girl. I have a boy and a girl. So there were always kids of both sexes in the house, between cousins and the kids in the neighborhood and friends, whatever. So always been around kids, and I love to play with them. Even now, like I have a little 8-year-old brother. Yeah, 8-year-old brother, and I love to play with him. Like really, really play with him. And I enjoy it. So, kind of a side note. No, I won't even talk about that. But, anyways, back to the movie. So, in the movie, towards the end, when everything goes down, Santa has, the naughty list and he has the good list. And of course, there's like different levels of the naughty list, right? And there was a guy, I don't know his name, but he was on a level 4. He was a level 4 naughty lister. So he would reference that in the movie sometimes, and he even said a couple of times, well, I had you wrong. And the level 4 naughty lister basically helped save Christmas. And in the end, the Rock is looking at him and he can see his inner child, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. And he's like, I don't want to quit. Basically, I want to stay. And I'm a crier. I was crying my boohoo and my eyes out because that's what I see out here. I see so many hurt children as adults. and that inner child is, as my teacher would say, acting amok. She is causing havoc, or he is causing havoc. And some of us are not aware that that is what's going on. So, earlier that day, this was Friday, earlier that day, one of my Rites of Passage sisters had posted in our group chat that she was giving away, gifting some free readings. And so I'm like, oh hell yeah. I know old girl is tapped in and I know she's pure. So let me check in with her. And one of the things she said was that I should schedule a play date with my inner child. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. And I showed her, like, I have been working on my inner child. Even though I don't have memories, so to say, of some of these things that happen, like, it's so interesting because my brother would say things, and my brother's 4 years younger than me, but he would be like, hey, remember when da 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 da? And I'd be like, no, I don't remember that. What? You don't remember that? And I really don't. So I don't know if subconsciously I block some of these experiences out. I don't know. However, the memory, right? So watching this podcast, and he recommended to have a picture of the younger version of you on your phone. And throughout the day, when you're feeling a certain kind of way, or when you know she's acting up or feeling scared or whatever, talk to her. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. So I already have the picture on my phone, right? I've already been, talking to her. And then I got a message weeks back saying that, the younger version of me was spooked by something that happened, and it kind of like created this blockage for me to tap in into to certain areas. And I was like, yep, that makes sense, and that can explain why the memory loss part, right? So I had a lovely play date with my inner child, and this was our first play date. So we sat on the floor, and I had some iced oatmeal cookies and milk, and we drew a picture. And I remember always drawing pictures of trees. Like, I used to watch, what was his name? Bob Ross back in the day with the happy little tree guy. Now, I would sit there and watch this man for hours, and I could not draw nothing like what he did, right? But I just remember just the feeling. And that's interesting. I remember that. But, anyways, but I remember the feeling of his pictures and how they came to life, and it was almost like a living being. So this is my picture that I drew with my inner child. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh. And I even thought about putting it on the refrigerator. Because I had to show somebody, right? That's the whole purpose. Like, kids love to show you what they've done. They love to share, look what I did, and they definitely love it when you display that, right? Like, they love that. Like, anyways, so how to work with your inner child. Well, first of all, how to recognize when it's the child that's acting up, because sometimes we don't know. So Emotions is energy in motion. And I'm not going to go all scientific on how emotions and energy work within our body. But basically, what happens, we are having an experience in this current right now reality, right? And somebody or something may trigger an emotion. Let's say fear. I have an experience, it triggers fear. My body reacts to that fear. Now, the current reality experience may not even be fearful. That memory is stored within my body. However, what's currently happening is like a trigger for that memory that I have within my body. Okay? Hopefully you followed me. If not, I apologize. I'm getting new to this. But anyways, um so it's not the current experience that we're having that is causing our emotions. It is a remembrance of a past experience, usually from childhood, right? So, whenever I get triggered, I'm aware of the triggering, right? Very much aware of it. I can feel it like boiling up within my body. Like I could literally feel it. And I'll be like, oh, okay, what is that? I talk to it. I talk to the energy. Where is this coming from? Who are you? What happened in the past? Ask it questions. And most of the times I would know if it's my younger self or if it's an older version, like teenage years, because we all have different ages within us, right? That's a whole nother different topic. So, right now, since I am still learning how to work with my inner child, and I don't have the memories per se, and they're not coming through to me, I am treating every trigger that I receive that is from a childhood memory. So I would get out my phone, I would look at the picture of myself, and I'd be like, "Hey, boo, what's wrong? What's going on? What happened?" And I would talk to her like I would talk to a child, and I would give her love, and I would ask her if she needs anything, and I would reassure her that she's safe and that she's loved and that I am always here. And I take that time to actually talk to her. Now, some of y'all might think this shit is crazy or it's not going to work. Now, nothing works overnight. Nothing works overnight. You have to put in the work. And when you are constantly putting in the work, constantly doing these things, you will start to feel a shift. So, last night I was coloring and I was kind of having like some lower back issues. I've been going to the chiropractor and I haven't had any lower back issues. And then for whatever reason, I was starting to have some, and I'm like, oh, okay, what is this? But I still laid on the floor, still did my coloring, and it was really kind of like bothering me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And by the time I was finished, that energy moved up to the upper part of my back. And I knew it was energy, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. What is this? And I'm, saying some things, I'm spraying stuff, I'm lighting stuff, and it's still there. I did a sound bath, and that definitely helped relieve the tension of it. At one point it was um so painful, like I couldn't even cough. Like like even now I could still kind of feel it, like it's a little tender just by doing that. But I couldn't cough because it was painful. And I recognized it and I was like, "Oh, okay. So I'm moving something. I'm moving this shit out my body." And it's deep, right? It's deep. And with this 9 year, honey, we all about releasing. That is what this energy is about. So use the energy that's surrounding, use the energy of what that's what it's there for, to use it. And I was thinking about other things that I wanted to do with my inner child, right? Um Now, I've already done inner child work as far as her acting up. She don't really act up. She's more fearful than anything. I'm not saying that people that act up, or there's some people react in violence, right? The only time that I remember acting in violence is when someone is doing something to me and I tell them to stop and they don't. Now I feel violated, so now I get violent, right? Sometimes I do slip of the tongue. I got a slick tongue. So there are times where I have acted out by saying something slick because I know words can sting. So I have done some inner child work with the classes that I've taken and the activations that I've done. So she doesn't really act up in that manner, right? And two, I can feel her before she starts to act up. I could be like, hold up. Look, I know that feeling. It's not worth it, honey. Okay? It's okay. Just woosah. Just woosah it away. And I'll talk her down, whatever, and we're good, right? But when I look out and I just see all of everything that is going on in the world, that's what I see. I've always said that, you know, I never really said that there's no bad kids, right? Because when I was younger, I was like, these kids is bad. Right? And then I had the awareness of, they're hurt. They're hurting. Hurt people, right? They're hurting. And the big people in their lives don't recognize it for whatever reason. Whatever, there's all types of situations, whatever. And I have compassion for that. I do. I have so much compassion for that. And kids, they are so innocent. They are so innocent and they're so full of life and they have all of this energy. Like now I watch kids whenever I'm out and they go a mile a minute. They're just going like all the time. And I love that energy. Man, even times when I'm in the store and it's like getting close to like noontime and you can tell like the kids in the store need their nap time. And I'll even talk to the parents because I know the parents are annoyed. I was that parent that would have kids in the store and they would start acting a fool, right? But I also knew, oh, you know what? We should have been out of the store before nap time. And I would always talk to the parents and be like, yeah, it's nap time, isn't it? And they'd be like, yes, it is. And I'm like, oh, and I'd be like, it's okay, honey. I know. Just hold off. That's just me. I know it. I feel it. I sense it. And, most of the time the kids just kind of look at me like I'm crazy and still keep, acting a donkey. But just the awareness of it. And then also, I feel like just the acknowledgement to the parent because I can see, literally, I can see other people in the store, their energy shifts because this kid behind them is yelling and acting, acting up. And I've done it, guilty. I've done it. And I'd be like, whew, boy, I'm not used to that. So you gotta kind of like take it back. And those that don't have kids or haven't had kids, you probably don't understand that because you have not experienced that yet. So there is an inner child in all of us, and that inner child may need to heal. That inner child may need to play. That inner child may need to be seen. He or she may need to dance or dress up or whatever it is. Just think about the things that you used to love to do as a child and do them as an adult. Enjoy it. And hey, and if you don't feel like, you know, comfortable going to the swings at this age, then go take a little one with you so then it won't look weird. But who cares if it looks weird? That's where I'm at. I don't care anymore. And I used to love to swing. So I think next Saturday, if the weather permits, I might have to go to the park and go swing because I enjoy that. And I told myself that we are going to make this a weekly thing. Every Saturday afternoon, I'm going to have a play date with, or an afternoon, evening, whatever. I'm going to have a play date with my inner child. So if you haven't watched or seen Red One, go watch it. I believe it's a really great Christmas movie. It has some action in it. It has some drama. It's not the typical Christmas movie, but it kind of is. But I loved it. And remember that when you see someone acting amok, it's their inner child. So until next time, bye.